Hi. Oh my goodness. So great to see both of you. Hi, Chef Jose and Ines. How are you today?
Great,
Very good.
thanks.
Thank
How
you
are
for
you?
having us.
I'm great. Well, greetings from Toronto, Canada. Chef Jose, you know you have a million gazillion fans here, so this is a thrill for all of us. First of all, before we talk about this phenomenal series, Chef Jose, I have to address your amazing work with the World Central Kitchen, and what you've done over the past 12 years is just phenomenal. So, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. I think what must thrill you the most about this, aside from the what you do to feed all these people, is seeing how these other people get involved and help as well. Has that surprised you, or, just warms your heart?
Well, listen, for many, many years, when I was younger, I saw sometimes certain events that seems people were, I will not say forgotten, but not giving the relief as quick as we could. And obviously, I don't know about everything, but little bit about food. And I always say that the urgency of now, when you talk about food, is yesterday. And cooks like me, we feed the few through our restaurants, through fast food, through food trucks, through high-end or more unfancy diner type of restaurants. But we all have the know-how in how to do more. So for me to see my profession, that is always there. It's always there when even people don't realize. But just trying to create a system that we could be a very powerful army of goodness, of empathy in moments that something goes wrong, is very important. I had teams in Canada after the last hurricane, didn't only affected 5 countries around the Caribbean, but made it all the way north. So for me, it was great. I couldn't go myself, but I was in other parts of the Caribbean. But we had teams helping in Canada, the local communities. That's what should be. People helping people sometimes in the worst moments, the best of humanity shows up. And that's what I love unfortunately, about these moments.
Well, thank you again for starting this, and we can't thank you enough. Okay, let's talk about this phenomenal series. What a gift to be able to not just go with your dad, but your sisters on this journey. I was so jealous. I want your dad to adopt me.
Done.
It was, and well, I'll tell you this: there's always enough food, so join whenever.
Okay.
But it was an incredible experience.
Yeah, I can just imagine. Just tell me a little bit about that, Inez, because like I said, you probably discovered a lot of things about Dad that maybe you didn't know before.
Well, we've traveled around Spain a lot. My mom, it's pretty funny. My mom, she's from the south of Spain. My dad, he's from the north, and they met in Washington, D.C. So we've been going back to Spain since we were born.
Right.
And kind of seeing the two different cultures, right? The North and the South. And when we've had the chance to travel around Spain, we really see how different kind of each region is, how special each region is. And so in the south of Spain, something that was amazing was going to the feria. I think that was in May, right? In the south. And so my mom, she's always talked about it, but because we go to school in the United States, we've always had exams, so we've never been able to go. And so this was the first time we went as a family. And
La Feria is a flamenco celebration that happens in May all across Andalusia. And they wanted to go there forever. And finally, as a family, we did it. And we did it on the show so we could share those moments with everybody.
Exactly. It was amazing. And we were there with friends, we were dancing or attempting to dance flamenco.
And eating in between. And eating in between.
Of course.
Or cooking in between.
Listen, it's all about eating. Jose, I wanted to ask you, you go back to Spain, you visit these, wonderful cities. I've only had the opportunity for me to go to Barcelona so far. I'm heading, now with COVID over, I'm heading back to Spain. But I loved it, and I love the people and the food. For you, like, what was the most exciting thing for you to show your daughters, to show us as viewers, to cook? I mean, is paella really that hard to make, or no?
Oh, paella is really hard to make. But like everything, if you read, if you travel, if you learn from the best people, if you realize that the more you know, you realize that you know nothing,
Right.
and you listen from the experts. And more important, boots on the ground and hands on the fire. For me, it was amazing to see my daughters in one of the episodes going in Valencia, which is the Sanctus Sanctorum of paella, and going through entire search and learning from the experts. And at the end, on their own, being in a competition, making paella where is no room for error.
Yeah.
And you seen them how they made the paella on their own. I thought they couldn't make it, quite frankly. And used to see them being there on their own and making it happen was amazing. I think that's what everybody is going to see on the show.
Yes.
That everybody can, only if you have the willingness to make it happen.
100%. Ines, what's the best dish your dad's taught you to make, you and your sisters? Or do you keep away in the kitchen and just let dad cook? How does it work in your home?
Well, cooking, it's a really communal activity in our house.
Yeah.
And so whenever my dad's cooking, we kind of all gather around. But sometimes he doesn't kind of let us partake because he's like, I can do it quicker. I can do it better. And so we kind of have to shove around a little bit, but we've picked up some really great tips. But actually the paella, that's a dish that we kind of all cook as a family. And I'm getting closer to perfecting it almost. It's a very complex dish.
Yeah. Jose, what did you learn about your daughters that maybe surprised you, being so close this summer and being able to make this show? And you have cameras on you too, but sometimes I guess you just kind of ignore them and you must find out things about your daughters that maybe surprised and impressed you.
Well, obviously being on camera is not easy for the first time, but I think they did an amazing job. But the most important was that this was still in the middle of the pandemic when we were shooting, kind of. They had to be taking classes on Zoom. They will spend 7-8 hours shooting every day. I mean,
Right.
between the travel and here and there.
Yeah.
And every day we spent weeks shooting this show. And for me, it was amazing that what you don't see on the camera is yes, they had fun, I hope. I hope they'll do it again if one day we get the opportunity to do it again.
Yeah.
But that behind the camera, they were working very hard because they had to study, they had exams, and they were fighters. And that's what made me super proud of them three, that was no easy show to film,
Yeah.
but they made it happen and they kept everything moving forward. That was amazing.
Yeah, well, you are amazing, honestly. Please come back to Toronto. I know that we debuted your documentary here at our Hot Docs Festival. We are very lucky for that, and just keep doing what you're doing. This series is fantastic, and I cannot wait for Canadians to share it. Thank you so much for your time today.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you very much.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you
Happy
both.
Christmas.
Okay,
Bye.
bye-bye.